past 6 months, we've seen frantic scenes all around Australia. Where did it all start for you?
I think we all got together, like, started off at Littlewood High School, you know, Parramatta Way. And, you know, we didn't really take a serious interest in music at the start. We just did it for fun, like, you know, and in time we just started playing.
I remember that up the Balmain Theatre.
Oh, yeah, we played a few clubs before then, but that was our first big job, you know. Boy, was we nervous. No, it will be an Australian sound. We'll definitely try to get our own sound, not a Beatles sound, our Rolling Stones.
Friends, and the boys work at this day and night. This is their job, just to write songs. The most important thing has been Stephen and George's songwriting ability. When we first started, it was very hard to get an Australian composed song to go. Now it's become the thing where radio stations do like to play original songs, but I think this has been the most important factor in whatever success we have achieved.
They were, they always will be in my mind, the greatest Australian bands. I'd like to have join me on the stage now from the Albert Organisation, the CEO, Paul Marks, and the Marketing and Development Director, David Albert. Now it gives me enormous pride and pleasure, as I'm sure it does you, to call upon Stevie Wright to accept his induction into the Australian Songwriters Hall of Fame here at the awards presentation of the 24th National Songwriting Contest. This induction is for Stevie Wright, Harry Vander and George Young. Stevie is able to be with us tonight. Stevie Wright, ladies and gentlemen. One of the rocks upon which Australian songwriting was built. Stevie, could you like to share a few thoughts or memories with us?
I'm not one for giving speeches. Far easier to write songs. And I'd just like to thank everybody that's made coming back to Sydney. First time in 6 years today, and I live now near Wilson's Promontory. I've got a 3-bedroom igloo down there, and believe me, it's like that at the moment. I'd like to thank everybody that's helped me, most of all the audience, and my wife. Thank you very much.
Stevie, I have to ask you something. I mentioned the Long Way to the Top tour, and they were remarkable shows. And each night, the core, the heart of those performances was you on stage with all the other performers coming out to join you. And I gathered that that was a spontaneous thing that happened in Perth after the first show. It wasn't planned, they just felt that they had to be with you. What did it feel like that night when they actually came out and all sang with you on stage?
It's unbelievable. An unbelievable thing to happen. It's unusual, and I was tickled by it.
Well, you know, I actually went back to my hotel room when I saw the show in Melbourne, and I sent an email to George Young in Portugal at the time, just saying, look, George, if you ever wanted to be proud of one of your songs, then Evie is the song that has just captivated sort of, you know, the minds and emotions of all those 12,000 people there tonight. And it did have a remarkable effect.
A song and a half.
It's a song and 3/4 perhaps. but actually, I mean, 11-minute song, was that a hard thing to maintain your momentum throughout when you were performing back in 74?
Lucky there was a slow part in it.
Enable you to catch your breath.
To catch my breath.
One final thing, Stevie, I've got to ask you. Indeed, I mentioned that you had a great way with lyrics, snappy, fast. Did you turn those out as fast as we think? Were things like Woman and She's So Fine? Did they just flow out of you like that?
Well, you remember the one about John Young with Step Back?
No, well, I know the story, but please share it with everyone tonight.
We had about 10 minutes left in Western Australia, and Johnny Young was Johnny Young with the kids, and he wanted a song written, and George said to me, "No, yeah, I've got a couple of verses there, take that." And so I took it to the loo, and relaxed.
Good songs are written, yes.
Good songs are written, and wrote Step Back, and took only a couple of minutes to write, really. And the thing went to in the top 40 for about nearly a year. You can't beat that. I thought, I'll never get to pick a song again.
And Stevie, of all those classic early Easy Beats hits that you and George wrote, which is the one that you feel most proud of? Which is the one that's sort of closest to your heart?
Do you know, I like a song I didn't sing out of the Easy Beats. It's a song called Land of Make Believe.
That's right, yes.
Harry sang that.
Harry sang that, yes.
I was so sick of my stuff.
Are you still writing at all?
Yes, slowly.
Slowly. Well, Stevie, on behalf of us all, congratulations, and you are indeed a legendary Australian songwriter.
Thank you, everybody.
I indicated that Harry Vander and George Young couldn't be with us tonight. Because they are both overseas. Gentlemen, one moment. We do have a filmed acceptance from Harry Vander, but before we do that, I was wondering whether one of you two gentlemen would like to speak on behalf of Alberts, the company that gave birth to all this.
Thank you very much, Glenn. I normally have to rely on Glenn for my words, actually. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute privilege for David Albert and myself to be here tonight to share with you this very special occasion. I guess it's more than trite by now to say it's a long way to the top, but from everything that Glenn said and everything that everyone knows, there's absolutely no doubt that these three Australian songwriters have got and reached the absolute pinnacle of their chosen career, both in Australia and overseas. And from Albert's point of view, we're absolutely delighted to have been able to play some part in it. I'd just like to say that FIFA Riccobono, I'm sure, would like to have been here. Has had a long involvement. She's overseas and can't be here tonight, but I know that she would also send her best wishes. But congratulations to everyone, and thanks for giving us this opportunity to share it with you. Thank you.
And now, if you would like to cast your eyes to the screen, and these august gentlemen would like to remove themselves from in front of it, we will see Harry Vander.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and Glenn A. Baker. I'm delighted to accept this award on behalf of myself and George Young. Thank you very much. Happy cheerio to you all. And Steve-O, nice one, son.
Well, it wasn't the Gettysburg Address, but we know what he means. That brings to the end my part of the show. Thank you for hearing me out, and you were a most polite audience. I appreciate it very much. Let me just add one little point which just occurred to me. Not only through Albert's and their support did these three people we've inducted tonight form a bedrock of Australian songwriting, but consider that then they used, Vander and Young used that power they had, I suppose, and their talent and ability to nurture the young ACDC, and through his little brothers who grew up in the same Burwood house where Stevie and George wrote all those early songs. And ACDC have gone on to sell 100 million albums, literally. So what I was born from those early moments of Stevie and George knocking out those songs. Australian music would not be the same without them. Thank you and good night.
And thanks to Glenn A. Baker.